Have you ever tried a new recipe and had it be, well, awful? Like mind-numbingly bad? So bad that you knew it could not have been anything that you did. The recipe was put together by someone who was clearly insane or possibly had never cooked a meal in their life. It's happened to all of us. Yes, it still happens to me occasionally, but it happens a lot less the more you cook and the more you know what works. Hey there, Chef Shelley here. This channel is for passionate home cooks who want to get paid to do what they love. I've had a successful personal chef business for over 15 years now, and when I'm not cooking for my own clients, I help passionate cooks just like you start your own personal chef business. If that's something that you're interested in, be sure to click that bell so that you never miss a video. So here are 3 things that I know to look for to see if a recipe is going to be good before I even try it, let alone deciding if it makes it into the regular family rotation or into my client recipes. First of all, know what you like to eat. I know that sounds weird. And this isn't to say that you shouldn't ever try anything new or different, but if you're not a fan of veal or tuna fish, then don't waste your time trying vitello tonato, even if someone tells you it's a classic and you should try it. Side note, who thought making a dish out of tuna fish and pouring it over veal was a good idea? And then, by the way, it's served cold. Yeah, I've made vitello tonato for a client, but that was because they asked for it. I would never suggest that to a client. I would never try that recipe on my family. I can only take so much gagging and crying, and that would just be the husband, let alone the children. Life is too short, and God knows there are billions of recipes to try. So, number 2, know what works. Now, the more you cook, the more you know how techniques work and what appropriate quantities are. Don't be afraid to adjust the recipe for things that you know don't work. If you're sauteing, say, boneless, skinless chicken breasts, you know it's not going to take them 45 minutes of cooking. The only thing that is a successful recipe for is tough, dry chicken. Same thing, if your family doesn't like food too spicy, you know, cut down on the amount of cayenne or leave it out altogether. But all that being said, if you have a recipe and you have to substitute 3/4 of the ingredients, it's not going to be anything like the intended recipe was. Third, know your end game. Sometimes you want to make something with a million components that takes days to prepare and cook. And by sometimes, I probably mean rarely. Do you generally make quick, hands-off dinners or set it and forget it slow cooker dishes? Do you prefer one-pot meals or a plate with a protein, starch, and veg, and they're not touching, or they're preferably not even on the same plate? Are you a boneless, skinless chicken breast kind of person or a whole chicken with crispy skin kind of family? There are millions of recipes within each of these categories. If you at least have a technique that you know you like if you love air-fried food, or like if it's a style you love, like comfort food, or micro-gastronomy is your favorite thing, or maybe the main ingredient is ground beef and you know that everyone in the family loves it, then that's a good step toward knowing that you're going to like the finished dish. Final note, here's a bonus 4th thing. A long ingredient list shouldn't necessarily put you off of a recipe, because like a simple pork tenderloin with a spice rub can have, a dozen or 2 dozen ingredients, but most of them are going to be spices in the spice rub, so that's still going to be super easy. You should beware a recipe that has multiple components. A scallop dish that has a sauce, a drizzle, a gastrique, a garnish, and 5 other things is best relegated to a night when you have a lot of time to prepare and a lot of wine.